Welcome to day 2 of our 4th session of the second Amicitia Clarinet Extravaganza weekend. Words and music, an interview and performance with Jose Franch-Ballester and Corrado Giuffredi.
We are so thrilled to feature these two world-renowned clarinetists who inspire us with their passion for music and the clarinet. Please make sure to write any questions you may have for our artists in the chat sessions during the session, and we'll do our best to get them answered later in the session.
And I would like to, at this time, welcome my dear friend, Joel Jaffe from Bakun Musical Services, who will give us some words of introduction for our two wonderful guests.
Thank you so much, Denise and Diane. It's a pleasure to join all of you. I've known both of you for a number of years and worked very closely with you on the international clarinet stage, per se. It's also been my enormous pleasure to work with Jose Franch-Ballester and Corrado Giuffredi, two Bakun artists who I work with day to day. I actually chat with them usually every day or every couple days. And I have traveled with both of them around the world on numerous trips, whether it's Europe, North America, Asia, Australia. I think the only continent we haven't hit yet is Antarctica and Africa. So perhaps those are in the wings in the future. What I wanted to do today is help moderate this discussion. We're going to review and watch several of their amazing recordings because of the situation with setting up live streams and live performances. Of course, Corrado is in his home in Monacote, Switzerland. Jose is in his studio in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So it's a little difficult to tee up a live recording for everybody. So we thought that this would be a really engaging way to not only watch some of their favorite recordings and amazing ones at that, but also to discuss them and learn how those recordings came to be. So without further ado, Jose, Corrado, join me.
Hi, everybody.
Ciao, Joe. Ciao, everybody.
Thank you, Joel, and thank you, all of you for having us here, especially Denise and Diane.
We are thrilled to have you here.
A question that I have, we're going to start off with Strauss's Till Eulenspiegel, which is an absolutely amazing work. It's really one of the pivotal moments in orchestral repertoire. Jose, Corrado, how did this piece come to be? Where did you find this music, first of all, and where did the conversation start in order to create this recording that you did?
Jose, please.
Sure. I was visiting, I was giving a recital and a master class at Northwestern University in Chicago. And after the master class and the concert, we had Steve Cohen, the clarinet professor there, and we had a free day, and we were just clarinet geeks. He's like, come to my studio and let's play duets. Let's try equipment and play duets. And we spent half a day doing so. And he's like, oh, I have an amazing duet. It's very hard. And I used to play this and I play with my son. And I think his dad got that duet. And it was all handwritten, and it was like Till by Strauss. And it was a lot of fun, and so he gave me a copy of it. And many years, a year later, I was living in Spain, and Corrado and I wanted to do a recording, a professional recording on video, right? And so I suggested Corrado to do the Strauss, and it was wild to record that. It's an incredible arrangement. It's extremely difficult, but I remember that to get the style, the colors, the personality of all the instruments that we're playing, that's what we were working throughout the recording, and it was a blast.
Yes, and many people was amazed. Me too, because when Jose called me, Corrado, I have a duet of Tilo and Spiegel. What? Richard Strauss, Tilo and Spiegel for two clarinet. Yes, I have the score, the manuscript. Okay, please send me and I will see. I receive in the post, in the letter, in the morning, and after 10 minutes, okay, when we meet in Spain for recording, because the piece is amazing, and I I remember was right for especially for Stanley Drucker and his wife. Is
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it is a great, really great arrangement. And no part is missing. Even the Gran Cassa, you remember?
Yeah,
Boom!
the bass drum. We were doing the bass drum. The What I really like about these recordings with Corrado is that we feel like two little kids that they got their own playtime together, and that's what happens when we get together. And with our clients, we're just playing around and having an incredible time, and discovering these pieces and those arrangements. Because when we start recording this music, we never play that together. We never rehearse that together. We just go boom, start recording, and
Great.
evolve everything as we go. So I remember it was a blast. It was a lot of time, right? That we had to be preparing and doing this for the recording, but it was worth it.
And because you remember an old man from the band of Illyria, your hometown,
Yes,
come to listen our recording for 10 minutes. And
yes,
he says, "Oh, very good, very good. I am really impressed by you. But Corrado, can you play softer this ID?" Thank you for your advice. We repeat the session. I play softer, and I see him.
yes.
Bravo, bravo.
He
You
was
remember?
this man is like a grandfather to me, and he was the principal clarinet player of the Valencia wind band, Banda Municipal de Valencia, and he's so charismatic, and of course he was listening, and he's like, "May I tell you something? Can you?" And he started producing us as we were recording.
It was fun.
It was great. He was amazing by doing that.
Yes. Great memories. And I remember your pile especially.
I know. I know.
Amazing.
I
In Spain, every time we go.
you enjoy it when you meet. You made a pile, a special pile without shellfish for joy because
That
Yes.
is very true. So I have a question for both of you. Uh, Have you played Till Eulenspiegel in the orchestra? So obviously Corrado plays in orchestras a lot. Jose, you've played in orchestras throughout your studies and throughout your career, subbing or helping or
Mhm.
pitching in. What's your experience with the work before recording this?
yes, of course I play many times, but the um, the organic of the orchestra is very big. There are four clarinet in the orchestra. First, second clarinet, piccolo clarinet, E flat clarinet. The part is written in D, not in B, E flat, but is a piccolo clarinet and bass clarinet, and a lot of wind instrument, string, very full orchestration. I was very surprised how can play with two clarinets, but it's great. No part is missing. It's amazing.
I felt too that with two clarinets it will sound empty,
Yeah.
and but you listen to it and everything is there, and but also Strauss music is so descriptive, right? And we were also descriptive in our playing, in our gestures, everything that we were doing, and that helped a lot as well.
Amazing. Well, with that, I think that we should to play the recording so that everybody can see it and appreciate it. And then what I'd like to do is, once the recording's finished, we're going to play from the YouTube page that is, I believe, Jose's YouTube page. Then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the recording and how you actually laid down the tracks. I think it's really, really impressive and amazing. Jose, all of the technical work you do, a lot of people don't know that you not only are an incredible musician, but you are a fabulous videographer and editor, and everything about all of the audio work and the video work and the editing is something that you've really taken a huge passion for. So with that, I would like to start this recording, and if anybody has any questions throughout, please put it in the chat room, and we'll be sure to get to those questions as we go. And with that, I will launch this for everybody to enjoy.
Yes.
That was amazing. Amazing.
Oh, do you have an arrangement of that for B flat and E flat? I'm just kidding, Diane. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. All right. So I have some questions for you, Jose and Corrado. How long did you rehearse this before you started preparing for the recording?
None.
None at all.
None.
Wow.
This is a this is a different way of recording, and we don't rehearse it, we don't practice it. I know it sounds weird, but I said to Corrado, don't practice, let's not rehearse, let's go there and start. Because what we are trying to do is to be fresh. We want to captivate, like get that freshness when we're playing, where things are happening for the first time, nothing that we planned on doing. And so this, I call this a music video. And okay, now we are on a time where everybody is uploading content, right? And we see all different types of content. We see the content when someone gets the clarinet and starts playing in front of the camera live on Facebook, and does maybe 2 or 3 minutes. We see content of people, same player doing multi-track and adding and editing everything and putting everything together, and you see the little squares and everything, and being as much creative as you are. Me as an artist, what I always wanted was to create beautiful art, because I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer. I like art. I like the video to be part of that art. So I call this music video, which the system is equally the same as producing a professional CD recording. And only that when you are doing all those tracks and you're recording everything, you have video recording as well. And here comes the tricky part. Then you need to put everything together. And you need to have a clear system of doing that. So once you achieve doing this, you get a beautiful piece put together, like produced very well, and also with an amazing video that is happening real time. Because I see a lot of videos out there where they record the audio in different tracks and they produce it all together, and then they do like some lip sync after for the video. This is not lip sync at all. This is actually us playing, but of course it's edited, because this is a music video. This is not a live event. Because and some people are like, oh, but that's edited. I'm like, come on, CDs are edited all the time, and this is this kind of form. This is us serving music the best way we can, and doing this kind of job. To produce a video like this takes a lot of time of preparing everything. I believe I got 3 or 4 of my students over there. One student was in charge of lighting. We got like lights all around us. Another 1 or 2 students were in charge of the cameras. Another student was in charge of producing, had a score, and was writing down the takes that we liked or the things that didn't go well, and we had to do again. And I always tell the same thing to my students. I'm like, we are, in your hands. So if we don't sound fantastic, it's your fault. you you have to tell us everything, right? And that's why we could go into a job. That's why we could go that day like a blank page, nothing practiced, nothing put together, and we go one section and we record that section a couple of times, and then Corrado suggests something, and then I suggest something, and then something magical happens in that moment, and we're like, we got it. Okay, next section. And so it's all so fresh, and that's what I look for. And all the videos that I do are in this type of form. They are always the same. You never practice, you just go fresh and do it.
Yes, I think then more fresh than this, it's impossible.
I know.
But please don't try at home, because it's right. we never practiced together the piece, but I practiced the clarinet for all my life.
Of
I
course.
studied, of course, all the days. So then you can play this, but different way, it's impossible. Even my face, the Jose face expression, my hands who cut the sound was all an improvisation. I remember very, even the shirt of Jose was an improvisation. Is my
That
shirt
shirt was three
double
sizes
size,
bigger than me. And
double size it for you.
they had to put clips, cloth clips behind because it was like, I remember those things. Oh my gosh.
That was really a great fun, a great pleasure to play and to listen this amazing arrangement. And you, Jose, play wonderful. Bravo, bravo.
You too,
So
maestro.
th-
I know many clarinet players, very top level, like very much this video. No
it
name.
was exceptionally well done. And so, a question for you: this is part of the music that you got from Steve Cohen, Jose. Did you get other pieces, or was it just Till Eulenspiegel?
Just that piece.
Okay.
Steve told me that the same arranger, he's done a bunch more. We need to research more to see if we can track. Maybe Stanley Drucker has them, so maybe it may be worth to reach out to Stanley to see if he may have some of the other ones. But we don't know which ones or if any. I think Steve said that there were a few more that this gentleman did.
And how long in advance before you got together to record this did you send Corrado the music? Was it a month? Was it a year?
No, like maybe a few days before,
10 days.
10 days.
Was in June, I remember. June.
Wow. Okay. So, one of the questions that a lot of people will ask is how has your playing changed since you recorded this? What's changed for you? Whether it's artistically, whether it's equipment, um, things in your life. What has changed? Because this was recorded, I believe, it was 2017, correct?
Yes.
So, Corrado, for you, what has changed for you? Have things changed in the orchestra? I mean, notwithstanding obviously the pandemic and things that are happening in Europe and not being able to travel, but how have you changed? Has anything blossomed for you? Have you learned new things since then?
No, for play with Jose Franch-Ballester, I don't change nothing. It's my playing.
Mhm.
We met for the very first time in Madrid, European Clarinet Fest. I listened his recital and I was impressed by him. And at the Clarinet Fest in Madrid in the 2015, we played together on the stage Michele Mangani concert piece, and was really a great show. So we know very well, and we played the same instrument, but uh, I cannot change really nothing for for playing with him. I improve. I improve my playing because he is very good. I need to be at my maximum.
So, likewise, I think we support each other, we complement each other, and this is teamwork. It's about what happens when two of us are together, what we make out of that. It's not about Corrado or Jose or Corrado sound and Jose sound. It's about Corrado and Jose, and that relationship and on musical relationship. And I think it happens every time we play together. And I think it's so beautiful. And Corrado, I miss it a lot. I hope this pandemic is over soon and we can do more music together very soon.
So, speaking of more music, let's move on to Galanta. Um, this is actually a recording that I know very well because I was with you both when you recorded it. This was recorded at Bakun Musical Services, believe it or not, so it's very industrial in the background. And I remember Corrado flying into Vancouver for this. Jose, I believe you were already here, correct? You were
Yes,
already living here.
this was my first year teaching at UBC in Vancouver, and I was here like fresh, like a few months when we did this.
Absolutely. So we went and got all of the gear and then loaded it in, and a couple of your students joined us. And much like with Till Eulenspiegel, you set up facing a very unconventional background. So with Till Eulenspiegel, you wanted not the concert stage, but the actual auditorium, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And here we're actually facing our warehouse racking. So when you stare at this, on the right side of Jose, that's where our key making department is, just off in the back, in that underneath the mezzanine area. And then to the left of Corrado is our wood shop. So what people don't see from this picture is they're just literally thousands and thousands of pieces of wood just everywhere, stacked really, really high. So it's almost framing you in. And then, of course, the CNC machines are far off on the left side. So it's really interesting. We recorded this on a Saturday. There was nobody else around. Our facility was shut down, and we actually cleaned it in advance just because there's wood dust everywhere. And it was a very special recording for me. So let's play Galanta, and then let's talk about it after. Diane?
Don't say that. Corrado, I know which word you want to say, but it's okay. Just let it be like this. Okay? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yes!
Okay, stop it.
We would have been disappointed without the yes.
I forgot this last sheet.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. So, having been there for that recording session, I remember it very clearly because we set up in advance, we tested all the sound, the video, made sure everything was right. And just for everybody watching, all of the wood in the background that you see behind Corrado and Jose, that's the wood that we use to make the Bakun clarinets and the barrels and the bells. I mean, this is legitimate. It does not get any more real than this. We are down on the shop floor. and the facility is really large, so there's really nice resonance. I was actually quite concerned that the sound wasn't going to be very good, but it really was, and that's a huge testament to Jose, who set up all of the engineering equipment. I mean, Jose, you own all of that yourself. You made a huge investment in
Yes.
that, and I know that you're very tech savvy, and I think that really helped not only to establish this recording, but also to put everybody at ease, because you had two of your students running the sound, running the cameras, and of course Corrado and I were really just along for the ride. Um, so what is different though with this one is you actually had a Bakun shirt that was fitting you properly.
Yes.
Got you a new dress shirt. Um, One of the things that I'm curious to know is what's different for you when you're performing to a camera as opposed to just performing with cameras there. So a lot of artists will get up on a stage, the stage will be in the background, they'll perform, and it'll be recording, there'll be a camera or two recording them, such as when you see the symphony orchestra, like the New York Philharmonic, and you see these recorded sessions and the cameras are sort of in there, but the artists are just playing, they're not interacting. Both of you were actually interacting with the cameras. What is it like? How is that different?
Maestro?
I try to play like in the concert. I I like to have some connection with the audience. So you can imagine when we have a big hall, 2,000 people, or maybe like in Lugano, 1,000 people, it's easy. But if you pay for the camera, maybe you have a much more audience. So I do the same work. I try to do the same work, but I know then Jose Ballester YouTube channel is very popular. My is very popular too. Over 3 million view. So that means 3 million people, at least 2 million people, maybe 1 million repeated the video, watch my music and listen and enjoy my music. So I think this is a good way to, even with the student, with when they recording the video for an audition. In the last year, only online competition and so on, because the pandemic. But they must try to do the same work as a feeling when they play for the audience. I think this is the way. What do you think, Jose?
I feel the same. I think this is us serving the music, not serving the camera. And it's about us connecting with the music, connecting with the composer, and doing the best we can. But knowing the system very well of how cameras work, where to look, and get used to record, because sometimes you ask a student to play a little piece and they play it for you right away, and then you put a camera in front of them and all of a sudden they have mistakes all over the place. So also recording for only one camera, psychologically it could be challenging and very difficult, right? So you need to overcome this. But you mentioned, Corrado, that your our YouTube channels, they have a lot of viewers, right? And especially yours. And we are musicians that we are constantly uploading content on YouTube and social media. And sometimes you get people that follow you, and then you get people that hate you because you're always adding stuff, right? And I just want to say one word. This is about generosity. And it's one of the qualities which is the most important with any musician: generosity. And this is about giving to our clarinet community, because we are doing these super uh, expensive productions that they take so much time to make, and we're not selling them. What are we doing? We're posting, we are giving this content to everybody, because we honor the word of generosity with what we do. And I think it's so important. And that's a base of our lives. Like before, maybe 20 years ago, Corrado and I would be recording all those duets for a major label. And we are not even thinking about doing any of that. We're thinking about what is the best way to be generous and what's the best way to share with everybody, because that's what means for us.
Yes.
I just want to encourage everybody while we're talking about this to subscribe to Corrado's YouTube page, to Jose's YouTube page, to the Bakun YouTube page, and also follow us on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. I know Corrado loves to get content up. Jose does as well. Jose, your content is a lot more personal. You're showing your pictures of hiking and getting out in the fresh air. Of course, you live in Vancouver, which I'm biased, but is one of the most beautiful cities in
You
the
know
world.
why I'm doing that, Joel? I want to say why I'm doing that because I'm an honest person, and that's what's going on with my life. I'm not touring anymore. I haven't done a live concert since March, almost a year, and I think it's very important for our followers and viewers to know what we are doing in our life to compensate our life through challenging times. And I'm one of my COVID things. I was like, I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna thrive personally on a year where I cannot travel too much. And that is so important for me to share with everybody because I feel everybody needs to see that. When times are come back where I will be able to start touring again, then I will be sharing more videos of concerts, etc. But that's so important because sometimes people forget who we are as human beings behind what we do. And something I want to share is who we are as human beings and what we are doing in this time that we are all suffering together and our community is suffering so much.
Yeah. One of the questions that came in was about caffeine, believe it or not, and caffeine intake as performers and leading up to a performance or a rehearsal. And I thought it was actually a really good question. I have traveled with both of you extensively. I know your caffeine intake habits and what you enjoy. I know Corrado loves to criticize me for having a cappuccino in the afternoon or the evenings all the time. Every time we travel and I order a cappuccino after dinner, you're like, no, you do not do that.
Not
You just
only in the morning.
only in the morning. But Jose, I have been working with you every couple of weeks. We've gotten together for videos, which we're posting now on the Bakun YouTube page and social media. And we've recorded some videos at your apartment, and we share a paella for lunch, an amazing paella. But you are a coffee fanatic. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that that is a very important part of your day.
Yes. So this is for Jake Ludwig.
Yeah.
So hi Jake. And yeah, we first of all, that question about caffeine, we don't need caffeine to play energetic in concerts because we have that energy inside of us. And doesn't matter how many coffees or Red Bulls we take, we are always going to play like that. Okay, now let's answer your caffeine question. As Joel said, we love coffee and I love coffee and I have my espresso machine at home and it's a lot of clarinet players. Richard Hawkins as well. Richard is the master
Sure.
of coffee, but I I buy my fresh beans every week and a half and ground them and do all the crazy stuff with very super complex espresso machines. And I do 3 coffees a day. I do a latte in the morning, a double espresso for lunch. Corrado, I'm sorry. I do a decaf cappuccino night
Grazie.
with soy
Grazie.
milk. I'm sorry.
Well, Jose,
Sorry, I cannot play with you anymore. Sorry.
one of the one of the things, Jose, that I love about watching you make coffee is that you attend to this much like Hawkins does, with the same focus, the same intensity. On your fridge, you have a whiteboard where you're measuring the gram weight of the coffee before and after, and you're then juggling and adjusting. And I find that it's very much the same with how you approach your playing. It's very methodical, very
Yeah.
focused, and I really appreciate that. And I think that there's a difference because I see that side of you, and then I have, of course, traveled a lot with Corrado as well, and he just puts his clarinets together and just goes like right up on the stage. There's just he's methodical, but just goes right forward. And I notice with you and your coffee that's something that I really appreciate so much about you because you're so focused. It's much like with your teachers, or sorry, with your students.
Yeah.
Just focused on them, focused on having them experience the best of what you can offer them as an artist. One thing that I wanted to ask Corrado, what has it been like for you? Obviously, a lot of us here on this Zoom are from North America. What has it been like for you during the pandemic with regards to the restrictions? I know that you have two homes, so you have one in Italy, you have one in Switzerland. So going back and forth, but also having the opportunity to perform because in Europe, a lot of the orchestras are performing. What has it been like?
No, in Lugano we are performing all each week. We have our season, but without audience, without public, because we are every concert is radio broadcast live, and for this year live is streaming too. So that means that our job is the same, but without audience is hard because at the end of the concert you play, you try to do the best possible, and nothing happens. You only see the empty chair in the audience. So this is a touchful is a good word
Yeah, of course.
because it's even is already 1 year we do the same is every at the end of the concert all the same sensation, the same feeling, so sad about. We had last summer some play en plein air event, but all the season was without audience. I teach in Modena in presence. That means I go to Modena with my student, but with I call in Italy is gabbia is like the wrestling. You know the wrestling. We are you put together some people at the end all the day with the plexiglass. We had for distance for security. Of course, the life is not like before, but we must continue to do what 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 we are good to do. So, student, my student personally improved very much because in Italy we have a lot of distraction. No? We have the sea, the beach, and in this year all the students study more. But you know the situation is the same all around the world. But I know in North America it's even worse than here.
It's certainly interesting, but I think that this whole pandemic has really shone a light on artists and given them the opportunity to not only up their game, but also to do new things, to do innovative things, to take chances, to take risks. And I see that in a lot of artists, not just you two, but artists that are out there giving of themselves, being generous, and it's a leap of faith that you do. I know, Jose, you did an unbelievable concert schedule that you put together at UBC with a number of your faculty members. And this is something that you spearheaded. You and I talked about this months before you did it. You engaged your studio, you had members of the Wind Symphony or the Wind Band, other faculty members, and you went from room to room in the Chan Center in these different performing halls and threaded together this unbelievable musical journey. And I think that what that shows everybody is that they have to take risks, they have to go outside of their comfort zone and not just stay on the stage and perform and expect that there are going to be people in the seats. What was it like for you to do that, Jose?
Well, as I said before, with when Corrado and I do our projects, it's a blank page. So you're gonna have one concert online, and you need to do something with that concert, and that's where creativity comes to play, and you start thinking, okay, what repertoire am I gonna be playing with those minutes? How am I gonna shape this concert like a menu in a restaurant? And then you are like, okay, how we are gonna present this repertoire? What can we do? And that's when, for instance, this particular concert, I had this idea of featuring the Chan Center at the University of British Columbia with the beautiful spaces. And I created this connection between all the concert halls, and I had to script everything. I had to write down every single thing. I have to talk to the camera team, to the production team, many meetings. It took a lot of time. But projects like that, they keep my soul alive, especially during those times. And having that chance to do it, I feel I'm very lucky, and I love being creative, and I like thinking outside of the box and seeing what can we do. And it was, I remember when I proposed the whole idea at UBC, they were like, "What? How?" They didn't understand because they don't see that I visualize everything that's gonna be happening, right? And it was it was a lot of fun to do a project like that. And I have a few more. And in that project, I involved ethnomusicology department at UBC, UBC choir, my client studio. It was like colleagues. It was like a lot of people involved with this, and also it was a incredible way of bringing all these musicians together in a time where we cannot play together. And so you always try to see, okay, if I'm doing this in a live concert, what can I do that is unique here? And that's where you're trying to be creative and get the most of it. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm trying to do with future projects coming up. Lately, I haven't been doing a lot because when the pandemic started, in I did 62 videos like in a row every day. I did a production like Corrado and I do, but every single day, new arrangements, like it was a marathon. It was crazy. And then I've been focused with teaching, but I also understood that as an artist, I needed this time for myself as well as a person, and not to be crazy doing a lot of stuff. So I'm doing a little bit less right now because I deserve that time for myself. And but I, of course, I have projects, and they're gonna be coming up, those projects. But I'm not being extremely crazy because that was a priority that I decided to incorporate in my life.
It's a very selfish thing for me to admit that I certainly love our time together every few weeks, and we obviously text and chat quite often, but I get to hear about all these projects. Same with Corrado. I get to hear about all these projects that you're doing months in advance before you even do them, when you conceptualize them. So to see them, like Corrado's recording session that he put on, I believe, 2 days ago, Corrado. I mean, to know that that's going to happen is absolutely amazing. One question that came up from Francesca Vidal, for both of you, ristretto, macchiato, or cappuccino? Which one, Corrado?
Ristretto for me.
For me, I would say latte.
Okay. I have had your lattes. They are wonderful. Um, Another person, Mila on Zoom chat, had asked, what suggestions or advice do you have for young clarinetists and musicians? So, Corrado, what would you say to a young clarinetist or musician that's looking to either grow their career, to improve their skills? What advice do you have for them?
Yes, for the young generation, I repeat all the time, you are very lucky because you put a finger on your computer, on your iPhone, you can listen and watch everything about clarinet. I am not so old, but in my time was not like that. No, because when I was child, I have only Mozart concerto LP, not more. So if you decide to study clarinet, you are very lucky now. You can listen and watching everything about the clarinet. But you are the difference because it's your brain. Your feeling about the music make the difference. This is very important. I went crazy when my student, maestro, which piece, which tempo? What? Which tempo? You don't know the tempo of this concert? It's unbelievable. Not acceptable. Acceptable. I don't know the spelling. You have everything online, no cost. Jose was right. He's very generous. Me too, because we put everything online. Of course, I put only my best, not my worst. But all the people have all this kind of repertoire, tutorial, uh, to know the difference of the instrument, of the brand, of the everything. So the life now is better for learning, but the different is the person.
You're right, Corrado. I agree with you. I I will add something else to what Corrado said. I will say to those young students, be curious,
Of course.
observe as much as you can, be ready to sacrifice, be perseverant, and keep feeding your passion. That's what I would say.
Yes.
All right. So with that, I would like to launch into the last recording. This is um, the tango duets. Let me just see this. So this was the tango duets. So Jose, Corrado, actually, Jose, why don't you tell us just a brief 1 minute introduction of this piece?
I think Corrado should say it because Corrado
Okay.
was working with Michele Mangani with this. But
Maestro?
Corrado and I, were always like, what's going to be next? What are we going to do next? And we
Yes.
said, okay, tango duets.
Yes, I suggest to Michele Mangani, he's very close to me. I all the day I write, I call him for a new project, for a new transcription, for a new piece. He went crazy with me, and so I call Michele and say, we have a special event, Clarinet Celebration was in Portland, no?
Yes. It is.
2019. I will do a duet with Cos'è. So, what do you think about a tango duet? I don't know. Okay, will be great. I said because I chose the Comparsita, Hernando's, and El Choclo, the very popular Argentinian tango. And he put together in the way of Galanta, the same. There is no first clarinet and second clarinet. There are equally. The parts are equally. And this is curious because the first two video was, of course, edited because it's a video clip, no? But this is a live concert, and there is not so much difference in the playing. I remember was great.
Well, we practice a lot this music before.
Yes, one afternoon in Portland. Yeah, I remember.
So with that, let's watch this recording because it's a memorable one. Diane?
wonderful. Oh my gosh. You guys are my heroes. You always have been. And I also wanted to thank you for all being so creative and active during the pandemic when so many of us were struggling and just finding it hard to play. I look forward every day to watching your videos and seeing what you were doing next. And you inspired and encouraged us. So we are so grateful to have had you join us today and share your beautiful music making and your stories. And Joel, thank you as well. You guys have been amazing. And we really appreciate our audience for being here too. And this will also be up on our YouTube channel for the Amicitia Duo, as well as our Facebook page. So if you missed part or all of this performance, it will be there so that you can see it afterwards too, right?
Denise,
So, yes.
only the last thing. Let me introduce my special white jacket.
Oh,
Your jacket. Oh my God. I was going to comment on your jacket because Corrado got a jacket during that festival and he was
First
in heaven.
on white jacket.
Jacket there.
I love it.
Another time. That is another story that
Okay.
I will tell at a later date.
Well, you guys will have to come back and join us in another event. We would love it. Yes. Come to UAB when times are better. We'll look forward to it.
Thank you so much for having.
Grazie mille, Denise and Diane.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, for being an inspiration for all of us.
Yes, yes. And we hope everybody will join us at 1 o'clock Central Time for a discussion on reeds.
Reeds!
Thank you, Jose, Corrado, and Joel. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.